Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today, and today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 1st of June 2023. Let's start with our session. Udan 5.1 scheme was launched by which union ministry? So Udan 5.1 scheme was recently launched by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and it will specifically focus on helicopter routes. Fine. So aim is to further enhance the connectivity to the remote areas of the country and achieve last mile connectivity through the helicopters. Fine. So Udan 5.1 scheme is associated with Ministry of Civil Aviation, and what is the full form of Udan? So it is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, right? Now at this point of time, if we talk about few important schemes, so there is this Chief Minister Sikho Kamao Yojana, and this is a scheme from the state of Madhya Pradesh, and basic aim is to provide opportunity for the unemployed youth in the state, right? The next is Chief Minister Tirth Darshan Yojana, and it is also the flagship scheme of Madhya Pradesh government. Basically, it facilitates the senior citizens of any religion to visit the religious places of their choice on the expenses of the state government. Fine. The next is the Shipbuilding Financial Assistance Scheme. Recently, this scheme has been launched to promote maritime sector by providing the subsidies for the vessels that are used in the offshore wind energy projects to make it more competitive with those which are manufactured in other countries. Fine. So these are the few important schemes that we have to remember. Next is, which supercomputer was ranked at 75th position at top 500 global supercomputing list? So this is Aravat. It is an artificial intelligence based supercomputer in the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Pune. Okay. So it is India's largest and fastest AI supercomputing system with a remarkable speed of 13,170 teraflops. So it was ranked at 75th position in the world by the 61st edition of top 500 global supercomputing list, and this supercomputer has been installed this year only. Fine. So you can be asked that in this top 500 global supercomputing list, which supercomputer has been ranked at 75th position? So that is Aravat. Now here, if we revise few important rankings and indices, so the first is Human Development Index, and many times it has been asked in the examination. In this, India was ranked at 132 position among 191 countries. And the top 3 countries in this index are Switzerland, second is Norway, and the third is Iceland, right? Then there is this Electoral Democracy Index, and in this, India was ranked at 108th position. Also, you have to remember that Elon Musk is the richest person in the world as per the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. And the reports of Bloomberg Billionaire is very, very important from your exams perspective. At second position, it was Bernard Arnault from the country France. And at third, it was Jeff Bezos. Fine. So these are the 3 richest persons in the world as per the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Next question is, Georgy Gospodinov, who has won the International Booker Prize, is from which country? He is the first Bulgarian author to win the International Booker Prize, and he has authored a book titled as Time Shelter. Okay. So he is one of the leading voices of contemporary European literature, and for translating his work Time Shelter into English, his translator Angela Rodel and him shared the 2023 International Booker Prize. Fine. So this question is very, very important. You can be asked that who has won the International Booker Prize. So name is also important. This is Georgy Gospodinov. And if you would be asked about the country, so he is from the country Bulgaria. Now let's revise few important awards and honors. So recently, the highest civilian award of the country France was conferred to the chairman of Tata Sons. Who's this? Mr. N. Chandrasekaran, right? So he has been conferred with the highest civilian honor of France. Then the highest order of merit of the country, Germany, has been conferred to former Chancellor Angela Merkel. Fine. Then Pandit Ramkishan recently became the man of the century at the age of 97 years, and he is a socialist. Okay. Now next is, which country has banned domestic flights on short routes that can be covered by train? So French government recently banned the domestic flights on short routes that can be covered by train in less than 2.5 hours. So it is expected to minimize the emission from the aviation sector, and though the provision had been included in a 2021 climate law and was already in use, the ban has been mandated only now. Okay, so recently France country has banned the domestic flights on short routes that can be covered by train. Also, a few days back we have seen that the Go First airline was collapsed because its total debt to financial creditors was so high, and it was nearly $65.21 billion. Also, don't forget that as per a report from Cirium, Hyderabad airport was recognized as the most punctual airport. Fine. And this was the report from Cirium. Next is Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Ltd and Hindustan Petroleum Corp Ltd are the subsidiaries of which particular organization? Actually, Union Ministry of Oil is currently taking the steps to merge the Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Ltd into Hindustan Petroleum Corp Ltd, means HPCL. So these are the two listed subsidiaries of ONGC, means Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, and it is an Indian central public sector undertaking under the ownership of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Okay, so these are the subsidiaries of ONGC. Now, can you tell me which company has been recently upgraded to the status of Navratna Central Public Sector Enterprise in May 2023? So this is Rail Vikas Nigam Limited. Okay, what are the Navratna companies? Basically, these are the public sector companies that are given the financial autonomy to invest up to 1,000 crore rupees without the Indian government's approval. And Union Finance Ministry has recently upgraded the status of Rail Vikas Nigam Limited from Category 1 Mini Ratna to Navratna Central Public Sector Enterprise. Fine. So you have to remember that Rail Vikas Nigam Limited has been upgraded to the status of Navratna now. Next is Dancing Girl sculpture is a famous art piece found in which place? So it belongs to the Indus Valley civilization, and it was discovered in 1926 by British archaeologist Ernest Mackay. So on the occasion of International Museum Day, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled the International Museum Expo's mascot, which is a contemporized version of the famous dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro. Okay, so it is a famous art piece that was found at Mohenjo-daro. When do we observe the International Museum Day? So we observe this day on 18th of May every year, and this year the theme is museums, sustainability and well-being. Okay. Next question is, where is the Global Alliance for National Human Rights Institutions headquartered? So Global Alliance for National Human Rights Institution, which is affiliated to United Nations Human Rights Commission, is responsible for reviewing and accrediting the national human rights institution every 5 years based on the compliance with the Paris principles. Okay. So why it is in news? Because for the second time, it deferred the reaccreditation of National Human Rights Commission of India for 1 year. Fine. So that's why this alliance was in news, and the headquarters lies in Switzerland. Now, if we talk about the headquarters of different institutions, so the headquarters of UNICEF and United Nations Security Council lies in New York. Okay. Then the headquarters of IMF and the World Bank lies in Washington, DC. After that, in Geneva, headquarters of different organizations lie, like World Health Organization, International Labour Organization, World Trade Organization, WIPO, etc. Right? Then in Paris, the headquarters of UNESCO and OECD lie. Right? Then in Vienna, Austria, headquarters of International Atomic Energy Agency lie along with OPEC. Right? Then the headquarters of Food and Agriculture Organization lies in Rome, in the country Italy. Right? So these are the few important organizations that we have to remember. Which city hosted the first urban climate film festival in India? So the National Institute of Urban Affairs is organizing the first urban climate film festival through the cities program under U20 engagement event. And the festival is being organized with support from Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, the French Development Agency and the European Union. Fine. So the host for the very first urban climate film festival is New Delhi city. Now talking about few more summits. So the host for COP28 is Dubai, right? Then there was a summit named as Machines Can See, and the host for this summit was the country UAE. Then the host for the very first China Central Asia summit was also China. Right? So next is Uttarakhand's first Vande Bharat Express train travels from Dehradun to which Indian city? So the first Vande Bharat Express from Uttarakhand is set to be flagged off by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and it will travel from Dehradun to Delhi. And the train has been indigenously manufactured and it is equipped with advanced safety features, which includes the Kavach technology. Okay. So the first Vande Bharat Express train from Uttarakhand would travel from Dehradun to New Delhi. Also talking about Uttarakhand, a temple was in news these days, and it is Tungnath temple. Why it was in news? Because recently it has been designated as the national monument. Right? Which typhoon crossed the US territory of Guam recently? So Typhoon Mawar recently crossed the US territory of Guam, and it has caused heavy rain and high speed winds. So it was the strongest typhoon to hit the US Pacific territory in over the 2 decades. Also, Philippines was warned for possible flooding, landslides due to the storm, and locally it is named as Betty. Fine. So Typhoon Mawar has hit the country US. Now if we talk about Cyclone Mocha, few days back it has hit the country Myanmar, and to help the country Myanmar, Indian government has launched an operation named as Operation Karna. Right? Also, Indian government has launched an operation named as Operation Kaveri. What was the purpose of Operation Kaveri? So to evacuate the Indian citizens from Sudan country who were stuck there, and many people from Hakki-Pikki tribe were also taken back from the country Sudan to India, right? Hakki-Pikki is a tribe that predominantly lives in the state of Karnataka. Next is, India signed a migration pact with which country recently? So India and Australia have signed a migration pact that will facilitate the movement of students, academics and professionals. So this agreement was announced during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the country, Australia. Also, India plans to set up a new consulate in Brisbane. Fine. And this is in addition to the existing consulates in Perth, Melbourne and Sydney. Right. So, India signed this migration pact with Australia. Can you tell me how Sydney is associated with Quad for the year 2023? Do let me know in the comments if you remember. Carlos Alcaraz, who replaced Novak Djokovic at the #1 spot, is a tennis player from which country? So Carlos Alcaraz is from the country Spain, and he has replaced Novak Djokovic at #1 in the ATP rankings. And who's at the second position? So it is Daniel Medvedev. Okay. So Carlos Alcaraz belongs to the country Spain. Novak Djokovic is from the country Serbia. And Daniel Medvedev is from the country Russia. Fine. Now, who has won the Miami Grand Prix recently? So the winner for Miami Grand Prix this year is Max Verstappen. Also, Azerbaijan Grand Prix was won by Sergio Perez. Okay. Now, if you talk about ICC Players of the Month for April, so in the men's category, the winner was Fakhar Zaman, who is from the country Pakistan, and in the women's category, winner was Narwemol Chewai, who is from the country Thailand. Okay. Next is UT Khader was unanimously elected Speaker of which state's Legislative Assembly? So he was unanimously elected Speaker of Karnataka Legislative Assembly, and with this he becomes the first Muslim to hold this post in Karnataka. He was a former minister of the state and 5-time member of Legislative Assembly, and now he is the elected Speaker of Karnataka Legislative Assembly. Who is the current Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka? So this is DK Shiv Kumar. And who is the current Chief Minister of Karnataka? It is Siddharam Ayya. Fine. Next is Arunachal Pradesh has collaborated with which institution to set up Institute for Transforming Arunachal? So Arunachal Pradesh government is to set up Institute for Transforming Arunachal with Niti Aayog. And Chief Minister Pema Khandu announced that the institute will help in building an ecosystem for knowledge platform for further learning. And this institute will help in building an ecosystem for the knowledge platform for further learning process. Okay. So Arunachal Pradesh has collaborated with Niti Aayog to set up this institute for transforming Arunachal. Yesterday we have talked about Namdapha National Park, which was there in Arunachal Pradesh, right? Also from Arunachal Pradesh, Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary is very, very important. So it lies in Arunachal Pradesh as well. Next is, what is Mihir located in the National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting? So Mihir is a 2.8 petaflop supercomputer in the National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, and Union Earth Sciences Minister Kiran Rijiju visited this center recently. So Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, is home to Pratyush, which is a 4.0 petaflop supercomputer, right? So Mihir is located in the National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting, and it is a supercomputer. Now, yesterday we have seen that India's very first National Center of Excellence in Green Port and Shipping was inaugurated in Haryana as a part of Green Tug Transition Program, right? Also, a few days back, we have seen that a Jangarna Bhavan has been inaugurated in New Delhi, and it is the Office of Registrar General and the Census Commissioner of India, right? So these are the most important current affairs and the news from today. And today also there is no revision session. Most probably we will start our revision session from Monday. Okay. So now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions. which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Mihir Hadsana signing off.